Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Well, last time we finished up our business here in Zozo and learned more about Terra's past. We also gained access to Magicite. Speaking of Magicite, let's talk to this guy. Do we want to learn more about Espers? Basically, he's giving us a basic overview of how to equip Espers. Esper can only be used once per battle. You can also learn magic. The thing is, the way that they explain it's not the best, and I'm going to go over it all myself anyway, and yeah, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. So you open up your skills menu, and you select a character. So let's select a character, select magic. You can see that some of our... I thought some of the other dialogue boxes in the translation thing were showing spells that I didn't have. Weird. Anyway, we now have opened the Esper command. So if we open that and we select something, we can equip that Esper. If you want to unequip it, select off of it and it's removed. Now you can select down and you can learn about these spells. Now the learn rate indicates how fast you learn it. We will now get, in addition to experience and GP at the end of battle, we will also get ability points, or magic. I think they call them magic points in this game. They're ability points, basically. And the rate, the learn rate, is, well, if we got one ability point after battle, or one magic point, then with this spell, because it's times 10, we would get a total of 10 ability points. Once we reach 100 ability points, we learn the spell, and we don't need, we don't get it just by equipping this. I can't go like this and then go magic and have those spells available. It did it again. I'm gonna have to check that footage in post to see why it does that, but anyway. So yeah, the idea here is that we can learn spells by equipping Espers. We can also cast them once per battle, and yeah, we can do them whenever we want, but only one time per battle. Each spell has its own learn rate. As you can see, we can learn a variety of spells. From Ramu, obviously, we learned some lightning spells. Siren gives us access to Mute, as I'm sure you could probably guess. Stray gives us access to Muddle, Imp, and Float. And Kieran gives us some basic healing spells. Not too bad. Now, the more important aspect is not the spells, but down here. A few of these will have different effects at level up if you happen to be equipping the particular Esper. The way that this works is the characters, as they level up, the only thing that goes up from the start of the game is your HP and your MP. That's it. That's the only thing that goes up naturally over the course of the game. Your battle power, defense, evade, magic block are all independent of all your stats and are only affected by your equipment. Your vigor, your speed, your stamina, and your magic can only be increased at level up by having certain Espers equipped. So now, if you didn't realize this before and you've played Final Fantasy VI before and you're like, it's like I'm getting stronger over the course of the game, but nothing really changes too much, you just kind of keep up with enemies. It's because you weren't making proper use of Esper level up bonuses. And this really does change the game a lot. Anyway, one other thing of note here that's not explained particularly well. 10% bonus in HP increase. Now, the way that this works is, when you level up, you're going to gain a certain amount of HP. Say, in this case, we're going to get 50 HP at level up. 10% more is not 10% of our total HP that we already have. It's 10% of that bonus that we were going to get at level up anyway. So in this case, 50, we would get an additional 5 HP. Even if we got, say, 1,000, we would only get 50 HP from something like this. It's really not all that worthwhile to you, or 1,000, it would have been 100, not 50, but you know what I mean. The idea here is HP and MP bonuses at level up, not particularly useful. Stamina, as we've discussed before, only affects like how much poison and regen do, so it's and status against instant death. So not the greatest thing in the world. Some Espers have no level up bonuses at all. Basically, the only thing you're going to want to do on level up bonuses is for any of your magic casting characters, give them magic power +1 or +2, we'll later get access to. Get that, or Vigor bonuses for your strength-based characters. That's basically all you want to worry about. Everything else is pretty meaningless. The only other minor note to include about Espers is that there was some censoring to some of them. I'll try and cast some of them to demonstrate a little bit, but in the Super Nintendo version, they censored some of the more revealing outfits that some of the summons had. Like, for example, Siren, I believe, was censored. She was wearing much fewer clothes in the original sprite artwork in the Japanese version. I believe this gets switched back in the Game Boy Advance translation. Most of the censoring got fixed in that version of the game. As well as, any references to alcohol, death, all that other type of stuff got, for the most part, fixed. All right. Okay, you don't see anything interesting. There's a couple of people around here who will give us an indication on where we're supposed to go next. And so I do want to talk to them real quick. Only way to reach the Empire is by air. That's not a proper use of an apostrophe. That's not how that works, but sure. You'd need an airship to do that. So yeah, of course, you need an airship in order to reach the Empire by air. That's kind of by design. It's how the world works. Ain't no easy way to make Imperial lands. Okay. Hey, come back here. Opera House, it's to the south. Well, there's one other thing we can do while we're here. Maria? Mm-hmm. You could pass for Maria in a heartbeat. Now, I never talked about this before. I hadn't looked this up, but if you look at the translation over with the fan translation and even the Google translation, they have a different name for this guy, Danchu, or Dancho. And I believe that's... I'm not sure. I don't believe that's like a proper name. I think it's more of kind of like a title, like a conductor or something like that. Impresario is the name they've given him here. They also gave the same name to the train guy on the Phantom train. And apparently it's believed, or anyway, by some people, that they were translated that way, and then they were supposed to be changed, or only some of them were supposed to be changed, and they ended up changing too many things, like they Control F and just changed every instance of one name to something else, or something like that. The ones on the train weren't supposed to be impresario, they're supposed to be conductors or something like that. And this guy, I believe it's something to do with like in this case, it's not a train conductor, but more of like a backer of musical arts, or a conductor or something like that. But anyway, we're talking about Maria, and I believe we've heard something about Maria being an opera star. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but spit an image of Maria. Yeah, famous opera singer. Now, as this guy left, he dropped this letter. I don't know why they capitalized person there, but this guy is the master of the house. Or he's the maestro in some of the other translations there. Interesting. He's the director of the operas there. Everyone calls him impresario. So, as you can see with the Game Boy Advance translation, they've kept impresario for this guy here, the guy that ran off, but the Game Boy Advance also changed the translation of impresario for the guys on the Phantom train to conductors. So it's all confusing and isn't super important in the grand scheme of things. Just weird translation issues with this game. Now, what does the letter say? I want you for my wife. I'm coming for you, the wandering gambler. Who's this wandering, what's his name? Hey, Locke, we can't do the Titus bit. Titus is the only one stupid enough to do the Titus bit. Even though it's not vocalized here, it's still pretty dumb. Were you born on a farm, son? It's an interesting line. Blackjack playing, world traveling, casino dwelling, free spirit. Now, an interesting note here is the line in the original Japanese for blackjack. It's kind of a double entendre that kind of gets mistranslated here. You could say that he's playing blackjack considering his ship. However, if you look at some of the other translations, a gambling vagabond finds freedom from society's narrow views of morality aboard his airship, the Blackjack. So Blackjack is actually supposed to be the name of his ship. But he's, in addition to like him being this vagabond, free spirit, whatever, he also does have a gambling casino built right onto his airship, which is called the Blackjack. So the kind of the double entendre of blackjack and them translating it one way, so they've kept the blackjack name in the translation, even though it is meaning a different thing now. Surprisingly enough, the name blackjack never actually comes up again in the original Super Nintendo script. So I don't know how people 27 years ago figured out that the ship's name is Blackjack, considering it's never mentioned. But okay, cool. Setzer, the owner of the world's only airship. Ah, so we have an idea. Let's set up a meeting with Setzer. Alright, and with that being said, we are going to head down into the Chocobo, and we're going to ride. Now, I mentioned in the previous episode that I was going to be redoing this upcoming sequence, and I will. So, many of you know, like, Final Fantasy VI is not an unknown game. We know what sequence is coming up here, the opera sequence. I'm going to be doing this sequence twice. The first time, I'm going to let it play out and we can listen to the music and enjoy the hell out of the sequence because it's a fantastic sequence. The second time I go through there will be without the characters that I have because I don't necessarily want this party going forward. And after this sequence and the cutscene that plays in it, they don't give us an option to change our party members before we go on to the next set of dungeons. And so that's rather unfortunate, and I would like a different party, but I do want to show off the scene. So on the second go-through, we're going to pause through the opera sequence and show off the various translations of how they translated the song and all that kind of good stuff. But for now, let's enjoy You Again. Setzer's coming to steal her. He'll probably appear at the climax of Scene 1. He loves an entrance. Okay, so we're getting an idea of what this Setzer's all about. He's kind of full of himself, apparently, if he wants to make, you know, a perfect entrance. Very self-important. Only we could grab him then. You'll ruin the performance, and I'll lose my job. Okay. Interestingly enough, the fan translation, it's not his job, but the entire theater will be ruined. That's interesting. You want a successful performance, but you don't want Maria to be abducted. woe is you, apparently. That's not the way plans work. Then again, it worked in Final Fantasy VIII. We're not going to talk about that. We'll use Celeste as a decoy. After she's abducted, I'll follow him right to his airship. Now, if he's the only one with an airship, how are we going to get there after he abducts Celeste? Have you thought this plan through, Locke? And if you noticed in the Game Boy Advance translation there, if things go well, we can commandeer the ship. Something should happen to Maria. Didn't we just talk about this? Wait. That's why the decoy will hide Maria someplace safe. You want to know where they hide Maria? The safest possible place you can imagine. Not in this video game, because there is no Maria. There is only Celeste. Getting Ghostbusters vibes, apparently. Whatever. Yeah, they never created a separate sprite for Maria. We never see Maria. As far as I know, there's never any mentioned about it ever again. Looks like Maria. Now, just a minute. Celeste will be our Maria. She'll lead us to the airship. Well, we've got a plan now. It's a harebrained scheme, but let's go with it. Brilliant! But Celeste is not happy about this. I'm a general, not some opera floozy. Can't just take on the part of another person without any training. Now, the interesting thing here is, like, that would be the logical way of going about this scene, is like, oh, does she have any, training as a singer? That would be, your first and foremost, even if she looks the same. This is, steampunk technology. I don't think they have speakers to allow her to lip sync the whole performance. But that's not what she's worried about in the other translations. She's more worried about the fact that it's not part of who she is. Oh, okay. Hello. Oh, he's turned to the side, so he's listening in on the door. Apparently, she doesn't sing very well. This plan is doomed to fail. Hello, Ultros. Why are you here? I'll pretend to be Setzer and foil their little plan. I like in the Game Boy Advance translation, as we'll see in a moment, the double entendre with the capitalized word. It'll be tons of fun. Oh, he sent a letter. And the letter's behind us. It's showtime. And we all missed the letter. Poor Ultros, nobody cares. This is one of the best musical sequences in any video game of the Super Nintendo age. It's one of the best of any age, really. It's a fantastic sequence. Now, the dialogue goes automatically here, which is why I'm not going to talk about the translations. I wouldn't have time. I'd have to pause the music, and I definitely don't want to do that on the first go-around. We'll do that on a second go-around. On the soundtrack, I believe the there's like what 3 songs. The opera sequence is segmented into 3 different songs. That was the extent of the vocalization that we were able to achieve with this game on the Super Nintendo. Go into the dressing room. What else did you say? I hope this works. Go on, give her some encouragement. Why is everyone singing? Yeah, this is, again, kind of going back to the fact that Sabin's character is not supposed to be particularly bright when it comes to all this. I could have given Locke the sprint shoes. Probably would have been smarter, but Sabin has them because I had switched settings for... Oh, the letter's gone. For Locke so that he could have a better setup, including the Genji glove and the Atlas armlet. It's only for a short sequence, so I didn't think buying a second full moon boomerang warranted it. He's not going to spend a lot of time in the front row. Yo, he's blushing! Is that you? Have you always been that pretty? Thing is, the translation I think works the best here is the fan translation, which is rarely the case, but it's the most realistic dialogue. Why did you help me escape back there? This is an important line that we definitely need to go over. Because I once abandoned someone when she needed me, or because I'm tired of standing by and not doing anything while I lose the girls I like. Interestingly enough, the same idea is present in the fan translation. It's only in the Super Nintendo version that they kept this idea, you know, of kind of the singular situation. This all draws back to his past with Rachel. But from what I've gathered, apparently the Game Boy Advance translation is a lot closer to the way that is a lot more accurate as far as the translation goes to the original intent. Now here we see 2 different lines between the SNES and the Game Boy Advance, and basically the exact same meaning out of both of them. Celeste views Locke's actions as if he were trying to save Rachel by saving her. And he completely ignores the question because he doesn't want to come to terms with one way or the other. Or he doesn't know. It's a big scene in which Maria senses that something's happened to Draco. You better check the score one last time. Now, this is going to be an incredibly long episode if I do it all at once, so I'm going to cut here, and next time we're going to go over the script and do the whole meat of the opera performance. Anyway, that's pretty much all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.